melt the seams together. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Sawadee Krupp. I'm Steven, and this is my video log, the Siamerican. So, yet another treasure that someone thought was trash here in Durango. Let's see, there's a broken fin of the fan. And so, but yeah, that's definitely fixable. Plastic welder, 2 different types of plastic welding options to fix that, which we get to. But I did check already that it runs. I mean, even if it didn't work, I'm sure many things could still be salvaged from this. And so I did have a old bicycle frame that I picked up that someone threw out that I was thinking about building a electric generator, but I prefer to do that with a DC motor, a lot less steps. Not a lot less steps, but you don't have to rectify. This would be an AC winding alternating current. So in order to utilize electricity, which would be in DC, I would need to rectify it, which I haven't actually done, but it would be something good to learn. But anyway, it does work. Looks like we're going to have to remove the backside too. It doesn't easily pop off. I don't want to break it, So yeah, I took an old toothbrush and tried to scrub a lot of the muck off. And we got a lot of it, but there's so much more. These old fans here, probably would be best to have a tub that you could submerge these in with some kind of like baking soda or other solvent, and then take maybe a compressed air pressure or high powered water stream to really get it off. I mean, I could with a toothbrush kind of get some of it off, but I would still need a tub to really make sure it gets off but removes. But anyway, functionally we have cleaned probably 70% of the muck off, and also we'll take a vacuum here to this motor, and also cleaned off blades. Yeah, here we are, the blade that we need to weld back on. So I've cleaned it. This is not going to be our main mechanism. This is just going to be our way of securing it so I can weld it on after mesh and probably hot staples. I presume. Force, speed, and pressure as a fan blade. Definitely want to weld it back on. But this is just gonna, this super glue gel should just hold it in place. So I can hot staples in. In place, but we will weld it for sure using, probably put some hot staple reinforcement here. I'm not sure you can see that. This is oh, sorry. Plastic welding gun, right? Which is basically a hot stapler. Those little stents that you put in and melt into the plastic. And then I can do some reinforcement with this welding kit here. Hey! Ready for lunch?
Yeah.
What are we going to have for lunch? What are we eating? What is it?
Fish stick.
Fish sticks. Okay, we'll have some fish sticks now.
It's broken.
Yeah, and we're fixing it, right? So these plastic welding kit guns, hot staplers, They definitely made in China. Make them in both 220, 230, and 115 volt AC models. Obviously, depending on what country you're in, what you need, but China will make it for you. So I'm here in the U.S., so we're using 110 volt AC, and it says its input current is half an amp, and so it runs at 50 watts, which is reasonable. Can be easily done off grid, used off grid fixes. And so yeah, basically what you get is this welding gun that plugs in, and what are those two prongs, you might ask? You got your instructions, how to do it. Read those if you're a first timer. You got your basic hot staple scissors or whatever you call those, and you got a selection of staples, different shaped staples, hot staples. Basically, you insert them into the prongs, you plug it in, pull the trigger, and it gets hot really quick, and then you insert them, and they act as like reinforcement stints between hold two plastics together. So basically, yeah, it's your core of your fix. Whereas other type of plastic welding, you use stainless steel mesh, and you melt that in, and it's a mesh like a matrix, where these are just like stints. But I'm going to do both for this fix, just to give it extra strength, tensile strength for the function that it needs to be under a lot of force as a fan blade. Yeah, these plastic welding kits and welding guns are mainly sold for fixing bumpers, but they work for fixing any kind of plastic that might be broken, as long as it's not too like shattered, just like chips here or there, and you have them. And the cleaner the break, the better, the easier. But you don't have to do a lot of work on bumpers. Yeah, depending on where your cracks are and you're fixing them, you'll have to drill holes to eliminate stress and break points. But with just little two pieces like this fan that we're doing, yeah, don't need to do much. But I did use the super glue, as you saw earlier, just to hold it into place. So I weld it. Yeah, it's a weird shape, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people would probably just epoxy or super glue something like this and call it done. But yeah, I find that probably with the force of the fan, it wouldn't necessarily hold up. And yeah, and the instructions just to show you what these little staples look like here. So obviously, I have 4 different variations, but they, as you can see in the instructions, to show you what different types of welds you might want to do and which stint would work the best. So yeah, well, they call them welding nails. So they're welding nails, plastic welding staples, and like I said, they act as a stint. Basically, hold 2 pieces together. You basically melt them in. The gun melts them right in. They make them so hot, it melts right into the plastic. And then what you do is you end up cutting off. You use the whatever they're called. I don't want to say scissors. So just to show you the variations of the different types of welding nails or staples, and what they might be used for here. But I'm probably going to try one of each of these to reinforce, because I have different types of seams and corners that each of these can probably be used to really reinforce it. And I may or may not need to actually use mesh if I get it solid, as in this kind of welding knife mesh, but I will probably still finish it with our welding iron. Okay, so not right next to a power outlet, so I'm just going to plug into my Go Labs power bank here, 300 watt, 500 peak, pure sine wave inverter, so should be more than enough juice to power this 50 watt gun here. And also be a good test to see if I can use AC and DC at the same time. This being the DC and AC inverter powering the welding gun. Okay, so this Go Labs power bank is able to apparently power both AC and DC at the same time, which is great. We'll find out soon. Well, anyway, so you see the fan's plugged in, and the switch is on this adapter actually. So draw now like 1 watt all the way up to 21 watts. 2 watts. I don't need that much. Oh. That much juice. So this is 2 watts right now. And next step is to plug in the welding gun to AC. Let's see how much I'm drawing here. Yummy. That would be it. So let me turn this on in fact. Actually see what I'm doing here, but I can see what I'm doing, so. Just come out. Okay. Just so you can see what I just did. See that little thing, and I'll basically clip those off. These brand new, never before used shears, I guess. Clippers. Like scissors. And our finished product here, at least for this side here, looks like this. It's going to be hard to. I'll put some more reinforcement plastic welding. Basically, right? So for this one, we're going to come in at this corner here. Try to get that. Not the best angle there. I'll have to clean it up and see what it looks like there. Wait, let that plastic cool down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Comes right out. What I'm left with is that, and let's clip it off. Show you what it looks like on the other side. And somehow managed to come into that. Should be pretty good. One more I could probably do here. $39 it'll give me a rating. Okay, up to 50 watts anyway. Alright, we'll be back on with that. 2 or 3 watts of ventilation power, tornado power. Okay. Let's try it before I do it. Okay, so the result is a Frankenstein of a fix. It's definitely strong. You know, it's held there initially with super glue and it's stinted in various seam points, but we will do another weld using a plastic welding iron. So the next part is using this welding iron just to really melt the plastic in together. Of course, I'll be ventilating, moving the air and fumes out the window there. But okay, so turn on AC. It's already plugged in, so it should kick in here any second here. No wait, and then next turn I just activate. Okay, so now it's on. Okay, so 62 watts. This one is drawn. I believe it's rated 50 watts as well, but as you can see, it is drawn 62 watts, and so I could weld like this on this full battery bank for 5 hours. Accordingly, I mean it's only a 300 watt hour bank, more than enough to do everything off the grid, technically. So I'm just gonna weld into the seams wherever I can, wherever there's open seam together. With this kind of welding, you know, if you didn't do the stints, you can use this mesh, and I could do that like bumpers. I've done that before, where you just cut the mesh to piece, you melt it in there, melt it into your seams, and it acts as a matrix. I could theoretically still do that. I think I'd be overkill at this stage. I'm going to try to melt it in first and see how it looks. I mean, if you really wanted to have a nice finish once you did your weld, you can really sand and buffer and polish, but I just needed it to be functional. I mean, already it's pretty strong, right? It's not, it probably could work just as is, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with some of this welding. So let me see if I can set up the camera. So it takes about, good 2-3 minutes to warm up. Start to feel it radiating there. But yeah, again, you want to be ventilated or outdoors, because these, when you're melting plastic, you are creating some fumes. Quite hot enough. Let it heat up for a little bit more longer. And oh yeah, other thing I wanted to show you is I'm using these plastic welding rods that I bought. I'm not sure if this. I know for a fact that this plastic that I'm welding is polypropylene number 5 triangle. So very thicker plastic. And the welding kit does come with some black welding rods, but I believe these are polyethylene. They're black, and of course you melt them in there, it'll reflect on the color. So I've got these white welding rods. It feels pretty thick. I think it should work for polypropylene. We'll find out. If there's some kind of incompatibility with the plastics, they won't melt together. But I'm pretty sure that this will. We'll find out though. I'm gonna melt. I'm gonna weld the seams first. And if I need any filler, basically is what you use those rods for, is extra filler. So, just getting just hot enough so I can use the iron to put some force down. Melt the
I'm singing my heart today. I'm giving up all kinds of things to live in my mind now. No one can take your place. I would never disgrace this name you have boxed me.
kind of. So I have like a Google Glass or something hanging from my head, filming what I'm doing. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's very easy to get a hold of. I'm just kind of lazy to update on all that. I haven't got a proper tripod or stand for this camera. Just placing it on some books. But anyway, I'm not like a professional vlogger, career or something. So this will do. Okay, sharing you what and how I'm doing things in a general sense. Maybe spark a little bit of inspiration for someone who wants to fix things or salvage or upcycle random things into useful things. All I'm doing. So yeah, not the prettiest weld it's going to be, but it'll be reinforcement, functional. Essentially, I'm just melting the plastic together wherever there's seams or cracks there. Produce its tensile strength, basically.
Singing where are people longing for each other. Whoa, man, I can't believe. Whoa, man, what a scene. up all kinds of things to live in my mind now. You know, no one can take the place. I would never disgrace this name you have boxed here. Singing where are people longing for each other. Sign your name, you're on the way. Make a new life for today, based on the old one. Thinking where are people longing for each other.
Okay, so we use that filler to kind of fix one side, but I gotta do the other side here, so I'm not sure. Wrap it up here. Kind of see what I'm gonna fix here. Smooth it over the chip that was missing. Seems like that filler is working fine. Kind of get it perfect. Okay, that's it. Not the prettiest, but it should be functional, right? That's trash. Now I've got an extra ventilation fan here. Let's see, I'll plug it in here. Well, it's plugged in now. Let's try it. Don't try this at home, kids. Three speed. There's speed 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just some final touches and put the
Brought to you initially from Thailand and now the United States. If you like what you see and hear here, be sure to give me likes, comments, and subscribe so as to not miss any updates. ขอบคุณครับ